Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Chris Luck's LESHRAC. This was a game between EG and TSM, two of the top North American teams, and basically EG went to town. Chris Luck had an incredible game. I also considered making a video on Whisper's Batrider for this game, as he also went 11-0. So just an absolute masterclass from the side of EG, formerly Beast Coast, obviously with some changes. This isn't even fully Beast Coast. Very, very weird set of changes with some of the top SA players. But either way, we're going to get into this, take a look at his gameplay, because LESHRAC did receive quite a few nerfs in the recent patch. But it doesn't really seem to matter. A lot of heroes are still prioritizing this hero when it's good, right? If it's a good game and they don't have a way to counter the Bloodstone and they don't have, good burst damage, the Bloodstone timing is still very, very powerful. So let's talk about it. Also, I want to tell you guys that if you've been struggling with solo queue and you're looking to get to the next rank, I'm going to be able to help you. Like literally with the gameleap website, I'm going to give you guys guides that are going to make it unbelievably clear on what you need to do. So if you've been stuck in the solo queue grind, you don't know what to do, and you want to become absolutely broken, but like actually you want to become much, much better at Dota, and you want to take it more seriously, the gameleap website is going to help you do that. So click the link down below. I'm going to help you get to the next rank, and I'll see you there. So interestingly enough, the LESHRAC actually came out in the first phase. And this is considering Lesh also got heavily nerfed this patch. Like literally he got very significant nerfs. Bloodstone got nerfed. Pulse Nova is worse by 10% at level 1. And you cannot toggle Pulse Nova, which might not seem like a big deal, but I guarantee you it's a bigger deal than you think. If you don't even know what that is, basically you could turn off Pulse Nova to make it do about 50% more damage. Yeah, 50% more damage is a ton, and you can't do that anymore. They got rid of it. So this hero received, in my opinion, a major nerf this patch. We see the Lycan in response to the Nyx and the Lesh. This is pretty standard because basically neither of these heroes can burst the Lycan units. They're a little bit too tanky for the Pulse Nova to really matter. Lesh has some armor problems, which are heightened by Lycan's Howl, and yeah, Nyx Assassin also just hates units. He can't really deal with them. So the Lycan pick makes a lot of sense. Go for a pretty basic pick here. Then they go for the CM, just kind of deal with the Helm Dom creep early on. The CM armor is pretty good against Lycan. She can sort of protect herself with Nova, Frostbite, and her ulti, and it's a good lane against Lycan in general. Lycan hates these very aggressive laners. He despises them actually. And so CM definitely not a fun hero for Lycan to lane into. It's okay later on, but not good early on. They go for the Lina Bane on the side of TSM. Basically the Lina is considered a counter to the LESHRAC. I think it's weird against Nyx because he can carapace when you're trying to push out and yeah, basically when you're trying to nuke waves to keep up your Fury Soul or Fiery Soul, the Nyx can carapace, stun you, mana burn you, you have a ton of int, it's going to do a ton of damage. So it's definitely a problem for Lina. It's not the freest Lina pick. I think Lina is quite good with Lycan. I think the Howl armor reduction and the front line from Lycan really does enable Lina. The only concern I would have for TSM here is they don't have an initiating stun. And you might be like, oh, but they have Lift and they have Bane. They do have these things, and I think that could be enough some games. I'm just a little bit concerned it'll be hard for them to set up with the Nyx running around. Like, I would just be a little bit worried. You also might be thinking, why Bane? Why is Bane a good pick here? Bane is interesting from TSM, even though they get crushed this game, and Bane is very unpopular right now. I like it because Enfeeble counters healing, which actually hard counters the LESHRAC Bloodstone. So I think they picked it for the Enfeeble against the Lesh. It's not like insanely good against Nyx or anything like that. I wouldn't say it's like really good against CM either, but to be fair, they're not uni heroes, right? So Bane is pretty good against both of these heroes in lane. He's at least okay against CM, and he's good against Nyx in lane. So I can see the Bane pick. It's weird, but it sets up for LSA. It grips people with Lycan units, so it can rotate and solo kill the TA in the Lycan lane. They go for the TA here, which was, it's a hero I've actually seen countered by Lycan in some games, just because the units can overwhelm you early game. But I think they see it like, okay, because it's a safe lane TA. We know this because the Lesh is like most likely mid. I guess it could be offlane Lesh and then mid TA and then, actually I guess it could be mid TA because he would often pick it as a response to the Lina, right? So it definitely could be that. However, meld from TA is a big problem for Lycan, who starts with 3 armor. So it's definitely a strong lane with the CM, right? You can kill the Lycan and threaten him early on. It doesn't like dumpster Lycan like certain heroes could, maybe like a Monkey King or an Ursa, but Monkey King was banned out earlier. And then we also see the 3 of the harder carries that beat Lycan in lane also banned out. So that's something to keep in mind, right? Definitely something to keep in mind. And finally, for the last pick of TSM, they go for the Pudge. It makes sense here. I think it's Not a good hero against Nyx Assassin. Reason why, it's just the carapace is a bit of a problem. You can get stunned for a long time. You have mana problems with the mana burn. You have to be careful about the minus armor from TA as Pudge. It's definitely not a hero that easily lives the minus armor from Meld early game. At some point in the game, Pudge destroys TA. If you can get to that 35-40 minute mark, and TA starts to fall off, like she's kind of capped out on items, and Pudge starts to get his 4th, 5th, 6th item, TA gets completely annihilated. Same thing with LESHRAC. You just have a lot of magic resist. Your Flesh Heap blocks Edict entirely. It's good against all the different instances of damage from Lesh, the Pulse Nova. It's good, right? Pudge definitely is good against these heroes. Also anti-healing from Ags, good against the Lesh Bloodstone. So all in all, I don't mind the Pudge pick. I think it can get countered by offlaners, and that's what ends up happening here. So Pudge has quite a few matchups that I think he loses. I think he loses to Tide. I think he can lose to Underlord. I think he can lose to Batrider. I think he can struggle against... Honestly, there's a bunch of heroes. He can do poorly against Timber. That hero got banned out. But the point is I don't know. I'm always skeptical about the 23 pick Pudge. I think the hero is pretty good, and they want an initiator, right? They want a hero to jump in and then have these heroes follow up. You know what I mean? So I get the Pudge pick. It kind of fits the draft, and it's like sort of good against these heroes. I wouldn't say it's like insane. I don't think it's insane by any means against these first 4 heroes. I do believe that all of these heroes can add quite a bit of damage to Pudge. It's not like Flesh Heap blocks Nyx Stun damage or Vendetta damage. It doesn't truly block Pulse Nova early game. It's a little bit too high. It doesn't really block Crystal Nova damage. It's good against Frostbite, kind of, but doesn't really block CM Multi. So it's not a free Pudge game. So I get it, though. It fits their draft. I can respect the pick. And then they go for the Batrider, which I didn't think this was some insane Batrider game, only because they do have Grip from Bane, which is good against BKB Batrider, which is the most common Batrider item. Joke's on you, though. He didn't even go BKB this game, because they have 2 BKB piercing disables against Bat, which is typically a problem, because then the Lina and the Lycan run at you. You don't have that much armor on Bat, typically. At least not too much. So usually you'll get, like, disabled, and then right-clicked. So it doesn't look that free, but he ends up going a build to kind of play around this. The main reason why they pick it is the lanes, I believe. It's primarily the lanes. They're just looking to destroy you in lanes. Like, they have second pick, so they pick the TA to kind of deal with the Lycan in lane or the Lina in lane, whatever they want to put it against. It doesn't like own Lina in lane, but it can do okay. And then the Batrider just, unless it's against Lina, which it's not because the Lina's almost certainly mid, then you're going to dumpster Lycan in lane and you're going to dumpster Pudge in lane. Most definitely. Like, Pudge is really not good against Bat in lane. Even though he ends up doing, like, not terrible, actually. Tomato does okay getting out of the lane. He does die twice, but he does okay. Either way, let's get into the performance of Chris Luck on his LESHRAC. Definitely not a free Lesh game. They have the Enfeeble, they have Ag's Rot, they have Lina damage, they have Lycan units and minus armor. This is not a game. If you asked me if I wanted to play Lesh in this game, the answer would be no. No. No, I don't want to play Lesh this game. I don't think my lane against Lina is that free. I don't think my matchups are that good. I don't like playing into Bane. I don't think Lycan's very good. I don't think Pudge is good. Lina's good. It's really not a good Lesh game, but you know, they picked it on 6-7. They expected it to get countered. It certainly got countered, and let's see how he does. So one thing that I like that Chris Luck does in the laning stage is he takes 2 point in Lightning Storm. I really don't like the trend of people taking 2 points in Split Earth, only because it goes up in mana quite significantly. Not to say Lightning Storm doesn't, it's actually the same mana scaling. But my big issue with taking the Split Earth over the Lightning Storm, even though Split Earth technically does more damage by scaling it up, it does 60 more, where Lightning Storm does only 50 more. Split Earth goes from 120 to 180, where Lightning Storm goes from 70 to 120. That 70 damage Lightning Storm is honestly so underwhelming, it's insane. Like, it feels awful to cast this ability at level 1. Completely awful. Feels really terrible. However, in a hard matchup like Lina, you want to consistently be nuking creeps to secure them, right? Like, very consistently want to shove the wave and secure CS. And you'll see that here by using the Lightning Storm at level 2, he can comfortably secure the range creep, right? Lina's damage is probably about 70, right? It's 66. So if you use your E with only 70 damage to secure the creep, you can try to time it with an auto attack, but there's a decent chance it gets denied for sure. So I certainly prefer this build by a lot. Like, I heavily prefer this Lightning Storm build from Chris Luck this game. So Chris Luck unfortunately goes down at the 9-minute mark, but what he does after this death, I think, was his probably best play of the game, because a lot of players, they're not able to think ahead enough. They don't understand how they can impact the side lanes in very significant ways. So one thing about this TA Lycan matchup is it's not very good for TA later on, right? It's good for TA early on, and the TA has a great lane this game, right? Very, very good lane this game. So you can see he can like jungle it up. he can kind of do his thing, snowball that way, right? So the TA can have a good lane in this regard. However, one thing I do want you guys to keep in mind is that even if TA is level 8, if Lycan gets his Helm Dom, which he has right now, if Lycan gets the Helm Dom and has a +1 support, the TA can die. He bought a Dust for the TA to kill her. His clear idea here is to kill her. It's very straightforward. Lycan kills TA even when he's losing the lane. That's how it works. You have to know that to be an effective player. Because as you can see, the Rubik is here too. Rubik's here because he also wants to pair together with a Lycan to kill the TA. So what are they going to do? They're going to bring Chrysluk top. And I really like this because even if you don't end up getting a kill, you're going to protect the TA during this dangerous timing. Now, that's not always good enough because to some extent, if you don't kill the Lycan, he could back off and then wait for you to show mid and then kill you. Then kill the TA. But they end up catching them off guard, right? They go really deep behind the tower and I like it. The enemy team has a mid Lina, which means the counter gank isn't going to be very significant, right? Or it's basically not going to happen. And that's another thing people don't think about, right? They don't think about, oh, can the enemy mid counter gank when I go for a side lane gank? Even top players, even 9, 10k, 11k MMR players sometimes don't think about this thing, but it's actually very important. Now, I don't know if he did here or not, but regardless, right? They're able to find a kill on the Rubik and Lycan kind of, I don't want to say he panic ultied because he probably should have just TP'd out and held his ult. I'll keep it real. But, you know, a lot of players would ulti in this scenario. This Lycan's not some noob. He's like ranked 27. I don't know what region. I think Europe. But like this guy's a beast, right? But it didn't matter. He kind of panic ultis. And this is huge because no, Lycan does not threaten TA without ulti. It's all about the ulti. No shapeshift means TA does what she wants, right? And you'll see she's going to take some stacks and then comfortably walk back top. Now, she does lose her tower, which you could argue maybe this was a mistake from Because, not prioritizing defending it. Unfortunately, Lycan got this BS creep, but same thing here. No shapeshift because of the rotation from Chrysluk, and it results in a kill on the Lycan. If there's shapeshift, he can get out there, right? And the TA, once again, wouldn't be able to very comfortably play the lane. And now this game is just insane, right? This TA has a disturbing level of farm. Absolutely insane how farm this TA is. And yeah, a lot of that comes to the fact that she just didn't get killed because often the Lycan would want to take this tower. From there, you would want to try to take some of the deep TA camps and have the mid laner potentially rotate. I will admit, I also think this is potentially somewhat of a flaw in TSM's draft. I think while Lina Lycan is cool, mid-game, if you can get through the laning stage, it's cool because you have a lot of synergy in the minus armor. Lina likes the front lining from Lycan and the minus armor from Lycan. She also likes the damage reduction from Lycan's Howl, right? 40%, which is insanely high. She likes that as well because the way to kill Lina when she has BKB, which is often what she rushes, you'll see as queued up here, the way you kill her is with physical damage, right? Things like the TA. So the Howl can be very, very good against that, right? So I think this pairing has a lot of synergy and I like it. However, it has an early game problem where the Lina doesn't want to invade the TA's jungle and she doesn't enable the Lycan typically to take the safe lane tower. And so the Lycan has a very stunted game this game relative to what you'd want, and the TA gets to do whatever she wants, even though Lycan is actually not necessarily that bad against TA. It can be bad, as you'll see this game, but it doesn't have to be this way. And so I thought this was good drafting from the side of EG. Now, okay, Chrysluk is going to play, I guess he doesn't play a defensive game, so let's go a little bit back. I got caught up talking. So looks like they find a double kill in the mid lane. Was this just a good smoke gank? Okay, so they smoke ganked the 10-minute rune. I love this, right? Just good awareness to say, okay, 10-minute rune coming up very soon. Whisper shifts over on his Batrider. They bring both the supports. TA is just jungling it up, and they just get a nice clean dive. This really just stems off a good catch on the rune. I think maybe a big mistake from Bryle to not... You have to imagine Bryle maybe could have picked up that this could be happening, right, on this 10-minute rune. I mean, he saw them top, so I think that's the logic, right? He kind of saw them top, but they've been off map for a while. There's no one pushing out bottom, no one pushing out top, no one pushing out mid. I get it, right? I mean, it's a nice rotation from, like, I'm seeing it from both perspectives. I get it why he went for it. He saw the bat bottom earlier. He saw two heroes top. He just assumes they're still probably there. But, you know, EG makes like a really high skill movement to the mid lane, expecting the Lina to go for the rune, and they get the punish. It actually turns into a triple kill and a wasted Pudge rotation. So that, I mean, that's just a really nice play from Chrysluk to connect back to the mid lane. It was a team effort, right? I'm not going to tell you like that's some solo Lesh play. It's obviously not, but really good stuff from EG. From there, he gets bullied out of the mid lane, so he's going to take some stacks. So it's nice to have supports that are going to stack for you. They'll clean that up. And then from there, he's a little bit low. I can't imagine he's going to look to fight. You know, very, very close to the Bloodstone. It's always nice to, oh, the grip. Okay. What's with the mid laners running through the lane this game? They should be much more careful about just running through the river casually against heavy stun team comps. Both teams have quite a bit of disable. You can't be very casual about pushing out the lanes, but you know, such is life, I guess. As he's gonna TP top. So playing for farm, right? Just trying to get to this Bloodstone at this point as the Lycan's taking some of the deep farm, but he'll go for the stack, not get it. Just jungling it up. He's got a regen rune, so he knows he can kind of also just like giga use resources. As he considers going mid here, changes his mind. Looks like once again he's gonna, you know, just push towards that Bloodstone. Hunting the Lycan creep, can he get it? Yep, he gets the 100 gold, very nice. Very nice, and this will give him a 14-minute Bloodstone, so I like him slowing down the pace of the game here. You're close to level 12 now, close to your Bloodstone. Even here, I don't think he has to go too crazy. His Lycan feeds the creep again, oh no. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's so bad for Lycan to just give him 200 gold in like 2 minutes, but it is what it is. Now he's got the Bloodstone. This is typically when the game changes. You can, of course, wait for your next point in ulti. It did get reduced by 10 damage at all levels, unfortunately. But still, at the end of the day, it's a powerful ability at this point in the game. It is, you know, 10 damage per second matters, but still, it nukes hard, right? Your hero does quite a bit. So they got the Bloodstone. Let's see what they opt for here. Okay, they're going to chill on the top side. He's just going to keep farming it up. I think at this point, he's just convinced that the 12 timing is too important, which it's a 50 damage increase. It's like really important. And so he'll use the Bloodstone to keep his mana up. And looks like they might go for a mid smoke here. Probably try to contest Roche, it seems, or set up for a Roche fight as they scout it out with the trap. Nothing happening. The Lycan unit comes in, scouts things as well. Both teams a little bit hesitant to jump. I think this is mainly a Whisper play here. Whisper gets a good jump on the Batrider. The Pudge goes a bit out of position. Yeah, so the Pudge shows for a moment here, and they get the Batrider jump plus fire plus Tumbler's Toy to put him out of position. Just TSM not ready, and the Pudge just dies. They also walk a little bit too far forward to help him, so the Lina gets her BKB forced, otherwise she would have gotten jumped and stunned. They do a great job of kiting out here. This is really nice. Like, they just perfectly kite them out, forcing out the Lina BKB, also making them panic shapeshift, and now it's just GG, right? You've used your Lina BKB, you've used your shapeshift, you have nothing left in the tank, and they really didn't commit that much. They committed Lasso, but that got them the Pudge kill, and he's out of the fight. So you're trading Lasso for Pudge, that's super good. And yeah, now he queues up the Blink. He actually had a Ghost Scepter queued up, which I respect, right? Your main counters in the early game are definitely going to be this Lycan and this Lina. So it's nice. You don't have to go BKB this game necessarily, so I can see it. And this fight was pretty easy. Kind of just walks in and kills them. At this point, they can't really fight him. He's got the Aegis. All he has to do is just run in as this Batrider just wipes everyone up. All right, one play I do like here that I think is really nice to see is even though he's 10,000 net worth ahead, right? They're like obviously stomping at this point in the game. Even though they're this far ahead, he's going to get this regen rune, and I love what he does. He knows that this mid tower is dead. They don't need to go too aggressive on the first Aegis. He can push in bottom comfortably without dying because he has Aegis. So at least if they gank him, it will cost them a smoke and it will cost them just not even a kill, right? They won't even get a kill. So what he can do is he can use the Bloodstone to keep his mana up a bit. Doesn't even instantly pop the regen, actually holds the regen a bit. As he stacks those camps, so going for pure efficiency here, stacks 2 camps, waits for the Bloodstone to come up, which gives him nearly half his mana back. Fantastic. And gets to hold the regen rune for as long as humanly possible. And that's just really top tier efficiency that most players don't understand, right? They think, oh, I'm out of mana, I pop my regen. Why? If you can slow down the game for a minute 30, get 2 uses out of your Bloodstone, get a lot of efficiency out of your Aegis, right? They've gained 2k net worth just farming a larger percent of the map than the TSM side. Then you're chilling, right? You're super, super chilling as they can now go for the top tower. And at this point, it looks like they've decided that they're just going to run down the lane. Actually, no, TA is farming defensive, so they've changed their mind. They're actually kind of sweeping the map here, looking for the Rubik. He'll find the Rubik. Good stuff, as I think he bought a Blink Dagger too, which I can see when you're having this good of a game, right? And you have the plate mail, you have the answer to the Lycan and the Lina, dealing with the minus armor. You can then buy a Blink. He's also got the, does he buy Shivas first? I could see that too. The Shivas is really good for obvious reasons. It's just like a lot of physical damage and units from Lycan, so the AoE attack speed slow from the Shivas, really good against these high physical damage team comps. Really, really nice. Even the anti-heal is quite good against Pudge. So I can see that too. It's good against the Dismember and the HP regen. As they find the jump on the Lina, can they follow it up with the stun? No, he'll get his BKB off, so has to be a bit careful. Has the Aegis though, so he'll run up the cliff, yeah. Pops the Shivas, and the Shiva slow makes it so easy to take out these supports. As the fight continues on, he's going to chase on the Brile. Can he find him? Good stun from the Lina. So he'll stop chasing, but he'll find probably Tomato in the back half. And this is where the Pudge matchup isn't that good. Because yeah, you kind of counter the Lesh when you hit like your Ags and your Hood and your BKB, like then you're good against Lesh, but until then, like at this point in the game, it's not a good matchup. It's not. You don't have BKB on Pudge yet, I think, right? He's not even close, actually. He's actually so poor. Oh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but at this point in the game, Lesh definitely counters Pudge. If the game plays out this way, it's straight up bad for Pudge. It's definitely not good. As he looks for Lina on the hill, makes the disciplined play not to jump. Gonna clean up the tier 2 here. They're basically saying, hey, we have complete map control. We don't have the Aegis, so let's not sweep the map. We can make the safe play. He does actually show top, and they're gonna go for a play in the jungle, which is a bit risky. I kind of love the comfort from EG here. The fact that he can feel comfortable TPing top and still letting his team make a play and not worrying about the fact that maybe they're gonna feed. I really like that, right? I think it's a sign of a good team where they understand that their Lesh isn't with them. They're not playing like the Lesh is with them, but the Lesh also understands if they think it's a good play anyway, he can comfortably continue to farm and just trust them to go in. As talking about going in, we're going to see a huge jump from Chris Luck here, dropping the bottle for the DD, giving the TA the DD with the bottle. Clears the mid wave with the Bloodstone, which is a risk because you're on the enemy side of the map. Typically, you wouldn't want to do this. The reason why is if you clear the wave with Bloodstone and a fight breaks out because you're on the enemy side of the map, your team's playing aggressive, then you don't have the Bloodstone for the fight. So definitely a risk, but he finds a huge jump here. I mean, the damage from the Pulse Nova goes crazy as he hits a beautiful two-man split earth, setting him for the kill on the Lina. Onto the Bane. It's just a complete team wipe. Good jump from Chris Luck, just understanding his advantage there. Nyx giving him the complete vision, so great setup from Matthew on the Nyx Assassin as well. And they just win. Just a great stuff from EG, playing absolutely fantastic. I think this was the finals of the tournament, if I'm not mistaken, too. Even if it wasn't, just really good stuff from EG. Super, super clean game. Just, I don't want to say wiping the floor. It wasn't wiping the floor, but they just played really good Dota, like really solid Dota. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace!